Yo guys, it's Jim from Invaders, and today I'm joined with the brand new member of the channel, Kine. Do you want to say hello?
Hello, everyone.
And today we're just going to be discussing if Ollie should be sacked or not, and reacting to the Champions League results this week. There was a good couple of games, especially that Man City game and Liverpool game, but we'll get into that. First of all, I'm pretty sure Kine, you're Ollie in, aren't you?
Yeah,
Yeah.
uh,
I'm still sitting on the fence at the moment. After that game against Young Boys, my blood was boiling. I just wanted Ollie out. I wanted a proper experienced manager in, like a Zidane or a Conte, just to come in and you're guaranteed success at some rate with them. But what would you say would be a successful season for Ollie this season?
I'd say looking at the other teams as well and the standards of how they've currently played is top three in the league,
Yeah.
potentially top four, depending on how they start playing further into the season, us and other teams. Quarters or the semis of the UCL and a trophy, whether that's the FA Cup or Carabao. I think we do need to finish off with a trophy.
Personally, my expectations are high this season. I think we need to get top two. We need to get to at least the quarters of the Champions League, and we need a trophy. And we need to win that trophy convincingly. Like none of this. Like imagine we actually won the game against Villarreal. We didn't play well that game anyway, and we still almost won. I don't want that. I want us straight in the final, playing well, deserving the win. You know what I mean? I want us to deserve success this season, not just to be, what's the right word, just handed it and getting lucky some games like we did last season. Uh, but I hope Ollie proves me wrong. I really do. I like Ollie as a manager, but it's just got every day I'm just thinking, is he good enough to manage Manchester United, the biggest club in the world? But do you see Ollie within the next, I'd say, 5 years, winning Champions Leagues with us, winning Premier Leagues?
Yes, I
I
do.
I don't know.
Purely because I think if when you look at other teams such as Liverpool,
Yeah,
it took Klopp a while before he won
yeah,
the Premier League. And yeah, we got to a UCL final, yeah. But you also got to think that realistically, we've only kind of built a quality squad this year. I don't think with Ole we've really had a very good squad, except for this year, and still even with players like Fred and Wan-Bissaka, it's still not the best team
yeah.
that we can have.
Uh, I just well, you mentioned Klopp there, and you said it took him a couple of years to like win the Prem with Liverpool, but Klopp won nearly. He won a good few things with Dortmund, so he did. He built a squad. They were not no point lying. It was a really good squad. Klopp is a world class manager. So is Liverpool. Look what he's done to Liverpool. He's done bits with them, and like I just don't like the way people compare. Like, oh, but Pep's never beaten Ollie. Yes, but like that's like we can also say Ollie's never beaten Arteta. So he hasn't.
Yeah,
Like some games you're just up for it more than others, and that's the best way to put it. But like United for me are still inconsistent, and you need consistency the whole season to win a trophy or perform well in the Champions League or challenge for the Premier League. You know what I mean?
yeah, I agree. I think that's the main thing that we lack because last year, mainly, and kind of the year before, we'd go 1-0 down and we'd just be like, it's okay because we come back every time. And that's not what a Premier League winning side, the champions of the league, or the Champions League winners should be thinking.
Yeah.
Is we've gone 1-0 or 2-0 down, but it's okay because we can come back. That's not the mindset you should be going 2-0 up and knowing that you can hold that lead.
Yeah, exactly.
And I feel like when watching United, it never really feels like the game's over until the 90th minute, except for games like Leeds, where we do end up just battering them.
Yeah, like Ollie's decision making for me isn't good enough. Like his substitutions are always too late. He picks Fred and McTominay even though you have a really good box to box midfielder who can play anywhere in the midfield on the bench. Just wasting space really. Like he's better than there's no point in that. Donny van de Beek is 100% better than Fred. He's better than McTominay. And I just don't understand why you can't play the midfield that we want or try and get a CDM like Bruno. Like imagine a midfield with Bruno and Diddy and Pogba, or Bruno, Zakaria, or Donny. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think sometimes his decision making is what lets him down. But it is also because it seems like he is kind of as a nice manager.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like he genuinely, even behind the doors, isn't like that strict or gets into players like the best managers do.
Yeah.
I feel like he just kind of he's very lenient, and I feel like if we do got to win stuff with our side, even though the players are quality and they can obviously win stuff like the league and the FA Cup, but the manager is one of the most important things. Like Pep Guardiola on the Man City documentary, when they're not playing well, he gets into he sticks it on them.
Yeah.
And they know that they have to play better. Sir Alex Ferguson is famous for doing stuff like that in the changing room.
Like even in that new documentary of Sir Alex Ferguson's the Class of '92 documentary, he talks about losing 2-0 to Spurs at at Spurs, and goes into midfield. Not the midfield. Probably would have won that game. No. Goes into the change room. Just says we score early, and he walks out the door, and he sees what do you call him? I can't remember his name. Well, one of the best strikers in the league, praying that they don't score early. We scored in the first minute.
Yeah, I've seen it because he says that he walks in, he sits on the radiator, and it's burning, but he just stays there and he says, "Next goal wins," and doesn't say anything else. And we go and score 1 minute in.
Like,
I think that team would not have been as successful without Ferguson. I think he was a crucial part to it.
Yeah. There's no point in that. Like, Sir Alex Ferguson will always be the best manager to ever walk this planet.
Because I think also what people do when they compare him to like Pep or Jose or Cruyff, everyone forgets what he did in Scotland.
Yeah.
Everyone just goes, yeah, but he took him this long to win the UCL in England. But if you look at the Scottish League winners, ever since he did it with Aberdeen, it's only ever been Celtic and Rangers.
Yep. And he went into a club that didn't have a training ground. They didn't have a training ground. They went to a public park and trained there. And still took that club from nothing to the one of the most successful Scottish clubs within that 5 years. And he's just, I don't think there will ever be a manager to ever compare to Sir Alex Ferguson. Like some lunatics try and say, "Oh, but Pep, look what Pep's won." Yes, Pep's a good manager. He's a world class manager, but he doesn't compare to Sir Alex Ferguson. Sir Alex Ferguson's man management is unbelievable. He knows exactly what players need to get successful. Like, I'll take you back to the time. Remember that time Cantona drop kicks off on.
Yeah.
Yeah. And in the change rooms, he usually goes mental that people aren't going to play a good game. So the assistant coach comes into the change room before Celtic's fire and said, "Aye lads, you know the drill, head down," and then laughs and said, "This is going to be fucking hilarious." Everyone's just waiting for him to roar at Cantona. Goes to every single player. You're fucking playing shit, you're doing this, you're doing that. And at the very end goes to Cantona. "You can't be doing that now, son." And says nothing more to him. Like, I find that hilarious, and that's why he's the greatest manager to ever walk this earth. He's just, oh,
I also, on what you said there, people compare Pep, but I genuinely believe Cruyff and Mourinho and Arsene Wenger, debatably Wenger, are all better than Pep Guardiola. Because when you look at him and people talk about the treble with Barca and what he did, I could have won the treble with Barcelona with a team again.
exactly.
You didn't really have to manage them.
Just say, go and do your thing, and
You literally just go, right lads, I'm gonna go home now. You just play the rest of the season and do what you do best. Like,
yeah.
they were all so naturally good at football. They were gonna obviously play everyone off the park. But when you give him a team like that Bayern squad, even then he didn't win the UCL.
Yeah.
With that team that was still one of the best teams in the world.
Yeah.
Manchester City last season, he overthinks himself and does all this stupid stuff and doesn't end up playing Fernandinho. In probably one of the biggest games in his career, considering he's never won the Champions League with Man City.
Yeah. And I've said this multiple times. I can see Pep going back to the Spanish League. Has Pep signed a contract with City recently?
No, I believe that he's leaving in 2 years to go manage Spain.
Yeah, I can see him go to like a international club or a Spanish club. He's done this thing in the Prem. He's won the trophies. He still hasn't won the Champions League, so he's a fraud. But I still don't understand how you can't win a Champions League with De Bruyne, Sterling, Walker, Ederson, Fernandinho, Aguero, Mahrez, Silva, Cancelo. I think there's someone else huge that I'm missing, but like, he's just one of the managers that overthinks a lot. But hold on, I'll take you to the Champions League results this week. First of all, Sevilla versus RB Salzburg. I mean, it was a pretty boring game. Sevilla got a red card. I mean, the game looked like a good game according to the stats. Apparently, there's loads of shots, but like, I'd expect.
Yeah, I watched some of it.
Did you?
Obviously, the United game was on, so I only had to watch the highlights.
Yeah.
And there was about 4 or 5 penalties, I believe. Salzburg had 3. Adeyemi missed. I don't know who scored it for them, which is bad. But someone scored the other penalty and then they missed them with a pen, and Sevilla missed a pen.
Wait, so there's actually like 3 or 4 pens that game?
Yeah, there was like 3 or 4 penalties that game.
I mean, all I know is
And I think 3 of them were in the first half.
I mean, there was 2 in the 2 were scored in the first half. But I mean, I didn't know that. I mean, Sophia should easily get into that. Get through that group. The next match was unfortunately Young Boys versus United.
Yeah, I just think the main thing that a lot of people that I've spoke to never seem to mention it is, why did he bring off Cristiano Ronaldo?
Exactly.
I understand the kind of resting player stuff, but at the same time, I think a lot of the people that say stuff like that play a lot of FIFA.
Yeah.
Talking about resting him because of career mode. Because if you think of Chris, he's physically insane, and I guarantee we could have played him for that 90 minutes and still played him on the weekend. And Ronaldo would not have had an issue.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie, this is the first time I looked at the stats that whole game, and this. I'm pretty sure I'm Ollie out. We against young boys. We had two shots that whole game. Young boys had 19.
Yes, hearing the stat sounds very bad. And I mean, even watching it, we weren't that good.
Like in the first half, like I thought we played poor. I was like, yeah, we got a player sent off, but like, go second half, bring on Greenwood for like, I don't know, like Fred or someone, and just go for it a wee bit. And then I swear to God, as soon as the cameras cut down to Ferran, and it showed like the team was like, he's took off Donny, hasn't he? I couldn't see him, and I was, as soon as I seen he took off Donny, I was fuming. Like,
I see. I said it in a group chat before I actually got kicked because Shaq wasn't wanting. I think Donny van der Beek is so overrated. And don't get me wrong, he's a good player. Overrated does not mean this shit, which is what a lot of people get mixed up with.
yeah.
People think overrated means shit. It doesn't. He's a professional footballer for Man United. He's obviously very good. He played very good at Ajax, and he's a good footballer. But I think he's overrated because he's on the bench a lot. If he played the amount as Paul Pogba or Fred, he could end up being our best player or one of the best.
Yeah.
But I just think that he's overrated. He's not as good as people seem to think. If he did play like that, I don't think he would play as good as people think. He would be average.
Now, like, I seen him, what they call it, obviously play for Ajax in like the Champions League semi-finals against Spurs, and like he did play well. He was one of the best players on the pitch. And a couple of games last season, whenever he got his chance to start, some of the games he did play really well, and then he was just benched again the next game. But I'm 100% certain if you give Donny van de Beek a 5-game run in a row, he will be way better than Fred McTominay, and he could just sit in that midfield. Get forward a bit.
I don't think he'd be better than McTominay.
Sorry?
I said I don't think he would be better than Scott McTominay if he did play the fight. I rate McTominay, which I suppose is a bit of like McTominay bias, but
No, I rate McTominay as well.
I don't think he'd be better. I just think that I know it's a bit of a meme, but he has got the passion to play for the badge, and I don't know. I just feel like he could, for all I know, Donny could play 5 games, 10 games in a row, and end up being one of the best midfielders in the world at that time. He could turn out to get on point with his sharpness. Used to playing, get on form, and ball out for us. But he's not going to get that opportunity when Ole doesn't make the right decisions.
Yeah.
Which is why, even though I'm Ole in, and I have been since he joined, and I mean, yeah, I have had times where I'm a bit on the edge like I am now. I'm still Ole in, but I do also see a lot of the reasons why people are Ole out.
Yeah, I've been Ole in, and I've openly been Ole in all last season since he joined, and like everyone who was Ole out as soon as that Europa League final last season, I still stuck by him as like every manager can fuck up a final, just like Pep did in the final, really. But but then you look back and like he was no point lying. He was the reason we got knocked out of the Champions League last year. He was the Sorry?
I said, yeah, I agree.
Oh, I thought I said no.
I know. And it's the same in the Europa League, is even though we say that he fucked up like Pep did, his, I think, was a lot worse. Because Guardiola has won titles with City and trophies and gone far in the UCL, to be fair. Whereas that was the Europa League final, it would have been huge for us. And he didn't make any subs in the first 90 minutes. When if we'd have brought on Dan James at the 75th minute, 80th, probably a lot earlier, we could have found the goal. which is what I was saying the entire time while watching it, is bring Dan James on now for the 20 minutes of the 90. And you could tell towards the end of the first half and during the second half, he was playing for pens.
Yeah,
His tactic was, let's get this to a penalty shootout, which is stupid.
exactly. Like, you can't go before not you. If it's going to extra time, like say if it's about the 70th minute, you still can't say, okay lads, let's play for another 50 minutes, and let's try and just go to pens, and then hope for the best. Going to pens, there's no point saying, it's what they call it. It's a smart tactical move. It's not. It's just hoping for the best. Like in pens, it's anyone's game really, and it proved itself. Like I didn't expect Villarreal to basically put every fucking pen in the top corner, but they did. And obviously, people were hating on De Gea, which I just don't understand. Like he's a goalkeeper and he didn't score a pen. Whoop dee doo. Like I don't understand people who give off to goalkeepers who don't score pens in a pen shootout. Oh Jesus Christ! But I was actually staying over my mate's house that night, and we were watching it together, and I couldn't sit through the pens. I got every time we had a pen, I had to just walk out and come back in about a minute later.
Jeez.
And it, obviously, like during it, I heard like I covered mirrors, and I kind of heard a bit of screaming. So, and I didn't know who pen it was. De Gea's pen. So if wasn't it, if he scored, we won. If he missed, they won.
Yeah.
So I heard screaming. So obviously I came in the room, and my mate just has his head down, and then as soon as that happens, my heart drops. I look and I just see a yellow wall just sprint across the pitch, and I was just.
I was watching it on my mate's couch,
Yeah.
and about 3-4 of our players towards the end that luckily got the goal. Every time they stepped up, we just went, he's going to miss. He's going to miss. It's over. It's over. And they scored. And when De Gea went to take the penalty, everything about it just like knew he was going to miss.
Mm-hmm.
He that he was running up, he didn't look confident, and he didn't really look like he wanted to score.
Yeah.
Which is, I understand that you can get nervous. I've took penalties before, and obviously I'm not quite a Manchester United goalkeeper.
Yeah.
He's a professional, but I've taken penalties, and yes, it is quite nerve-wracking. And I can understand, but as a professional keeper, you should know how to take a penalty and hit the ball.
Yeah, like obviously. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, I was gonna say is what you get taught anyway is if you're having a penalty shootout and you don't really know what you're gonna do with your pen, if you're not good at putting it in the corner, you literally get told just to smash it. And he's a goalkeeper, so he can get power on that ball.
Just keep your head down and just put your foot through it.
He literally just rolled it. I don't even think he hit the ball right at one point. I'm pretty sure he did just.
I mean, obviously I didn't watch it whenever it happened, but during it, like, obviously, during the replay, I rewatch it, and I didn't know where I went, but even, like, just the way he was standing, you just knew he was going to the right. He had his body opened, his foot was literally pointing that way about 5 seconds before he took the pen. It's just... It was just a shit night, really. Like,
yeah, I mean, it was all good, and then the pens happened, and I got flashbacks to when I've seen us lose on penalties before.
Yeah.
And it's just, you just think, oh no. Why? I don't get why. It wasn't like it was going late into extra time. We were getting nowhere near to the goal, so we had to play for pens.
Yeah.
We could have easily put that game away
Well,
in extra time, or even the first.
We could have, who do we have starting that game? Rashford, Cavani. Did Greenwood start? I can't remember if Greenwood started.
I think he did.
Hold
I'm
on.
not sure.
Let me try and find it here.
I'm pretty sure he did because Dan James didn't.
And I'll have a wee look here. Here we go. Lineups. Our lineup was De Gea, Wan-Bissaka, Bailly, Lindelof, Shaw. So obviously Maguire was injured.
Yeah.
McTominay, Pogba, Greenwood, Bruno, Rashford, Cavani. Hold on, who did he? He brought on Twansibi for Bailly. He brought on Telles, Fred, and Mata. Obviously, Mata was for the pen. But why not just like chuck on Adama? Hold on, yeah, what's his name? Adama Diallo. Ahmed Diallo, sorry. Give him a shot. Like Van de Beek, he can take pens. Why not bring him on? Yes, obviously, like it wouldn't have mattered at all. But like, why not bring on Donny for like McTominay 70 minutes in? Try and win the game.
Yeah, I know.
But the shoulda, coulda, woulda, load of shade. But
It's in the past now.
Yeah.
There's no going back.
I mean, another big weird game was the PSG versus Club Brugge this week.
Yeah, that was not Messi dropped disaster class.
I mean, I seen a shot Messi hit, and it was like outside the right side of the box, and it just hit the top of the bar. If that went in, that would have been an amazing shot. There's no point in that. He also missed a sitter that game.
Yeah, I think he's not the best, and it's Cristiano Ronaldo.
I mean, Ronaldo just is the GOAT. The next game was, Liverpool versus AC Milan. I was out with my mates during this time, and obviously Liverpool were winning. We're like, oh. Then we seen 1-0. We're like, oh, class. And then whenever Milan were winning, we're all United fans, so we were jumping about the place, going, come on. And apparently Salah missed a pen, didn't he?
Think so, yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure he did. But obviously, Jordan Henderson with an unbelievable shot near the end.
Yeah, good.
Man City running red against Leipzig.
I watched it live at the Etihad.
Were you there?
I was there.
Oh.
And before anyone in the comments calls me plastic, I got free tickets to go.
I mean, why wouldn't you?
Turn down free tickets.
I mean, if I got offered all for free to go see, I don't know, like Liverpool versus like Everton, fuck yeah, take that. I'll take that. No problem.
I mean, I was just thinking free tickets, Champions League night.
Yeah.
And I mean, I understand the empty had jokes, and yeah, it's quite understandable considering the stadium wasn't full. But being there, even though there was empty seats, the atmosphere was still very solid considering it was, Leipzig, and I guess it's also because of the timing.
Yeah.
School nights. I do believe though on a Saturday, like against Liverpool, Chelsea, United, the atmosphere in the Etihad would be very good because they've got some solid fans.
What do you call it? I thought it was really embarrassing the way Pep came out after the game and asked people to come to the match on Saturday because they were going to be tired and it could be a good game. I think that's embarrassing, for a manager to actually ask fans to go to the stadium.
I think, obviously I understand it, but I think that the kind of side bit to it is also because people might not go because there is plenty of reasons. Some people complain about money, and if you're under 18, the tickets are 25 quid, which is really not bad at all for a football game. And them tickets are right behind the goal in the Colin Bell stand.
Yeah.
So I don't know what the. This could be the time where you do see that they are just a shit club, and they're being exposed to not having very good fans, considering the tickets are cheap fish. I understand not everyone can afford to spend like a couple, maybe like 70 quid.
Yeah, yeah.
If it's an adult and an under 18-year-old, I understand that, but surely games like the Leipzig game do his tickets for 15 quid.
Yeah,
And if you support a team, like I support obviously United, and if I couldn't afford, I can't really afford to go to most of the games because they are expensive. But when this ticket's up for 15 quid at a UCL game, regardless of who we're playing, I'm going to it.
yeah. I mean, obviously, unfortunately, I'm from Ireland, so like, unless it's like Dundalk versus someone, I probably won't be going. But like, at some stage this season, I'm gonna be going to a United game at Old Trafford. If it's the Champions League or if it's like in the game against the Premier League against like Brentford, because the Premier League tickets they're just the price is stupid for me. Like a game against Chelsea, it's something like 400, 500 quid a ticket.
Yeah, a lot of the ticket prices are ridiculous.
Like, but I'm gonna end the video here. Thanks for watching, and me and Kai will see you next time. If you go to the description, my Twitter, my Patreon, and Kai's Twitter is in the description with the links, and we'll see you later. See you.